Dear beautiful beings, welcome to this energy update. Welcome back. If you've been here before, I'm very happy that you are here because without you guys, there would be no channel. So I'm ever so grateful that you are tuning in again. And in the case that you are new here, my name is Phina and I'm bringing forward messages from the Angelic Collective, which is a collective of angelic masters, also Archangel Michael and Source. So I'm sitting in Brussels. And maybe you recall that a month ago I was here and I did a frequency transmission. So, what I would like to do to start off the reading is to ground into the grid for a moment and to bring forward this frequency for us to take in this reading. So, if you would like to follow me, then you are invited to close your eyes for a moment and to simply focus on your breathing. As I'm grounding down into this grid. And I'm connecting to the frequency of one of the masters, which is Jacob. I'm taking a moment to radiate out the frequency to each and every one of you. Beautiful. Okay, coming back, opening our eyes. In case you want to go in depth with this frequency, you can look on my channel. You will find the frequency transmission there. I even have multiple. And you can put those on replay. So if you want a really intense experience, this will also bring to light everything that is there still for transmutation. So take it easy on yourself, okay? That is the thing with beautiful high frequency. It brings to light and it transmutes. And it transmutes us towards, it is a hot topic right now, the Homo Luminous. We are making an evolvement to a more ethereal way of being, whether it is our bodies, whether it is communicating through telepathy, whether it is feeling drawn towards a lighter nutrition, whether it is noticing when food is carrying a lower frequency, we are tuning into our intuitive gifts. Now, even though this is a hot topic right now, the Angelic Collective has bringing this forward for months right now. And I want to refer to the writings of Helena Blavatsky. Helena Blavatsky is, in my eyes, a sage, and she was highly connected to these master angels. Now, whether they were in embodied form and in not embodied form, her connectivity to the higher realms was so strong that she received the Book of John. And it is said that this book cannot be destroyed by fire, not by anything in the material realms. So, where do you think that this book resides? Maybe you have the answer. Another thing, why this book is very interesting, and she is bringing this forward in The Secret Doctrine, is because she was already speaking about the Homo Luminous. Maybe not in this term, but she is describing that each and every species that is evolving on the face of this earth is going through multiple cycles, starting out as a Homo Luminous, evolving through descending phases, 3 descending, 1 which carries a shift, and then 5, 6, 7 into the ascending phases, back to Homo Luminous, and even back to Source. Now, more and more of us are waking up to the understanding that we are right now making a massive, massive shift, coming back to our intuitive senses. And with this, we have a very important choice point. A choice point between 2 timelines. They said this before. And the synthetic timeline is still active, it's still a possibility, but the divine timeline is becoming more and more strong, it's becoming more and more apparent. So, with the evolvement towards light, this is going to happen, however quick and whatever timeline we choose. But we can choose to first go through the synthetic timeline. Now, this timeline is connected to AI, to money, to ego, to more and more control mechanisms, and also to put even more pressure on humanity, because you are not going to create a diamond without pressure. It is up to us, they are saying, whether we want to go through that cycle or if we want to listen and to join the party, connecting to the grid. People think that the practice of grounding is a very simple thing that we do in our day. But every time you do this, you are actively bringing in downloads for you to up level, to integrate your higher self. So if you would every day take the time in the morning and in the night to sit down in meditation, to bring in your higher self, and to anchor it down into Gaia, and to ask Gaia to connect to your body and to bring the two together. By that, you are combining ether, and she's also ether, but she's fully connected to this realm. So you are bringing out such a force in you. And this force is going to dissolve the structures that we find ourselves in today. Now, isn't that beautiful? That you can actively participate. You can actively do something. Some say it is through doing nothing and making yourself empty. That could also be a possibility. If you were to do that under placing energetic protection and opening yourself up in silence to your higher self, then it could very well be that you would do this exact process as well. Your path is your path, but you can set the intention and work on this every day as well. I chose the second, and I have to say that their messages had become more clear every day. And also right now I'm sitting in Brussels, even though I was planning to go down south, but something changed in the timeline, and they said, no, you are going towards the north now because you needed more rest. And then I checked the weather report for the mountain region in the south of France, and it was going to rain and it was going to be windy. So, and they've gotten me out of situations like this many times before. And this is why I trust in their messages. Also, if you've been to the previous reading, then maybe you remember that they were talking about the eclipse and the ring of fire, that this was going to be more active. Now, if you would go to the folder Energy Update linked information on my channel, then you will indeed find a reading connected to more activity in the Ring of Fire. Now, if you're not known with the Ring of Fire, it is a region that extends from South America up to the north, to the other side, Russia, the Kamchatka Peninsula, then Indonesia, and all the way down to New Zealand. Now, this region is known for its volcanic activity because it's on a very important and very active fault line. And for this new reading, they are bringing forward ruptured Earth. Now, whether this is going to be a huge tectonic plate shift, whether this is going to be a rupture around Etna, because that was what my mind went to. Mount Etna is another volcano, and she is highly active at this moment. She's even bringing forward multiple mouths, and she's also breaching roads. So Gaia is actively responding to two things. She is responding to more lights coming into the earth, which is grounded by the Angelic Collective. They are actively communicating with the earth, also through the sun. Every radiation of the sun brings forward light for us to integrate, for Gaia to integrate. We are not learned in school that she is an organism, an active organism, but she isn't at this moment. She is expanding. So as we are evolving from more matter to Homo Luminous, she is also expanding with us. If you would see the particles of our hands, which we see as matter, and we also see Gaia as matter, if you would see that under a microscope, you would see that there are tiny little particles, and these particles are being kept together by frequency, by energy. Now, isn't that awesome? So it's also a possibility to vibrate higher. That is what is being meant by vibrating higher and up-leveling the frequency. We are capable to integrate more light from the grid, from the sun, from the ethers, and evolve. It will take time. We are going back and forth to recognize that when we do this, we are becoming more heart centered and more guided by intuitive messages. And we also have moments that we are going back and forth into our mind, especially when we are triggered. Now, that is something they asked us in the previous reading, right? Keep an eye out for fiery communication. I'm really curious how that was for you in the past 2 weeks. Did you have some fiery communication? Now, also for the upcoming 2 weeks, they are bringing this forward, but then more for introspection. So, not so much bringing the fire, bringing havoc. No, it's more reflecting on the situations that we have been through. There might be some fizzling out, but they are asking us to do introspection, to take accountability, and also to ask ourselves the question, where am I responsible for the drama in my life? Now, that is for the mind, for the ego, it's a really challenging question. We are really, really prone to saying, no, it's that person. No, it's just them. Is it really? Do you hold no responsibility whatsoever? And if you're bringing about, blah, 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 that's your ego. If you're crying and releasing, you are recognizing that there's something there. If you are doubting yourself and being really harsh, that is not necessary. They are asking us to reflect from a heart-centered place, to ask your ego kindly to reflect on this, only to grow and to evolve together. So, are you going to take the challenge with me? I take their messages very seriously. So I'm definitely going to put myself in front of the mirror. So then I'm going to see truth. Did we already talk about that? No. Well, we did in previous readings, but they are asking us to look into truth. I saw a writing of someone last week that said, darkness is just simply a part of life. And I hear this phrase a lot within spiritual scene, especially when it comes to keeping ourselves in a high frequency. And from that high frequency, we build our own reality. And this is all true. What we vibrate, we attract as well. But it doesn't mean that we should shut our eyes for whatever situation others in the world are going through. Because right now, a lot of darkness is brought forward for everyone to see. And it is something that we have been actively or inactively ignoring all this time. And we cannot make a change without seeing this. Transmutation always asks for a witnessing of these topics. Now, I want to bring forward Joshua, or better said, Isa, as they have been communicating to me. Even if you would see Jesus or Isa as a concept, let's say that for a moment, do you think that he would be high on a mountain, keeping his vibration high, and just being there without concerning himself or the world? Or do you think that he would actively participate in bringing about a change? Or let's take the example of Mary Magdalene, Mariam. Do you recognize the frequency change when I say Mary Magdalene or Mariam? Mariam holds a very different frequency. Isa holds a very different frequency. And that was something that was hidden from us. Now, again, if you would take them only as a concept, do you think that Mariam would be actively participating in making a change? Or do you feel that she would be hiding out in a cave only to keep the frequency high? So, what they are asking us is to let ourselves be intuitively led in what action to take. It could very well be that you are only asked to right now keep your vibration high, because that is where you are at right now. Some people are asked also to actively participate and to go through the challenge of realigning every time, going into heart centeredness and then falling back into ego, and to shift and to grow from there, and to take a stance for what is not right in the world. Others are here to go really, really deep and to dig up all the dirt because they are good at this and because they are keeping their balance, or they are at least in the process of keeping their balance. Someone said to me recently, and if you're watching, Shia, this was you, it is very easy to be a sage in the mountains than a sage in the city. And it is true. It is true. It is training. It is training ourselves. Still, go where you are asked to go. So, are you going to keep on the blinders and look away from everything that is happening? Or are you going to ask how you can actively participate without being drawn in a full on drama search? If you notice that you are doing this, please, please go back, focus on your frequency again. That is also too much for your system. Even if you would just participate actively into recalibrating your nervous system, because that is your job right now, in being kind to yourself, then do that. It is an invitation. It's not a push. When I take situations from my own life while traveling, I've been witnessing abuse. Men to women, women towards their children. And in all of those situations, people stood up. I also participated. And I'm not asking you to put yourself in harm's way, but it actively made a shift. I spoke to her mother, who was really, really harsh on her boy and was getting physical. And by recognizing her behavior, there was a shock, and then we had a good talk. So, whatever it is that you can do, whether it is in building community garden, connecting to the grid, you are participating in this shift towards Homo Luminous and Luminous Earth, even. Truth can be seen. And the angelics are here to be that higher perspective for us, because our mind perceives everything through filters, even communication between two or multiple parties. I think I said this. No, you said that. And what if you recorded it? Right now, every word that I spoke has been recorded. Do I recall everything after I'm done? No. No. So take that with you. There is a truth, not only a truth from our personal perception and saying, oh, this is my reality. You are creating your personal reality with your thoughts, with your frequency, but that doesn't mean there is no other truth to be seen. I'm going to put below the topics that we treated in this energy update. So you can come back anytime and reflect. Oh yeah, that is what they said was before. This is what happened within my own life the past 2 weeks. There's actually something there. And I hope that in that lies an invitation for you to connect personally to the ethereal realms, so that you can perceive truth, even about Isa, even about Marianne, even about planet Earth, and what humanity is actively going through. I'm going to feel out if there's anything more to say. Is there any message that you guys want to bring forward right now? Beautiful. They are giving me the word salvation. And I want to make sure that I do not fill this in. So how do you mean salvation? They are showing me the Earth's grid. Yeah. Salvation. A lot of people are talking about the returning of Christ, and that is going to be our salvation. But they are bringing forward that it is in receiving the higher frequencies, the ethereal frequencies, which is also called the Christed light, the Christos energy, through your own body, also through the grid, as they have been saying. And from there, I feel a lot of love. I feel a lot of softness. I feel a lot of, feel with me, clairsentience. I also feel a lot of strength. There are forces in the world that are going to try to prohibit us from making this shift, and they will do whatever. And they want you to know that it is very important that you realize that you're a very, very powerful being, that you've been living under the programming, that you are reliant on the government to make a change. It's not true. Change will come through you, through us as a society. So do not give your power away. If you are led to take any action to bring about change, do it. Do you want to continue the old, or do you want to bring forward the new? Do you want to go for a synthetic timeline that is connected to old ways of being, which will only get worse? Or do you want to create something new? We are in such a great possibility to bring forward a beautiful, high, defined timeline. And the choice is in our own hands. And that is true. So, on this note, beautiful people, I am going to wish you a beautiful, beautiful 2 weeks. And I will see you then. Much love. See you then.